Hey, all you HGTV fans. Welcome to my video of my newly renovated master bath. Um, your first shot here is of my blueprints for the rough-in plumbing and the design for the bathroom of how I wanted it. Now, a little background on the house. This is a 1988 colonial style house. It's your standard cookie cutter home with all your builder grade materials. The last owner, from what I gather from the neighbors, was an extreme DIYer, always doing something on the weekends. Well, he really didn't know what he was doing. As you can see, the walls are a nice puke green color. It's wonderful. When I have a chance, I have to redo the whole bedroom and repaint it. There's a lot of nail pops that came out, and when he painted it before, if you're standing in my view, you can see all the brush strokes. He used a 4-inch paintbrush to paint the entire room. So I'm going to have to get some Drydex to fill in all my nail pops and sand it all down, prime it, and then repaint it. So that should be a project. As you can see here, he doesn't know how to cut into corners or work a paintbrush very well. As we can see our next view, this is my Moen digital thermostatic mixing valve. As you can see, there are 3/4 inch copper line supplies that come in from downstairs and 4 1/2 inch outlets that come out from the top. Now, a little word of advice. If you do decide to put in this system, do follow the directions carefully, but you're going to have to be a little bit of a problem solver here. What I found out when I was designing this system, without even reading the instructions tell you that you might have to service this valve if it comes down to that. All these outlets and inlets have a screen filter that's inside them that might get clogged and you might have to get into them. If you follow the directions from Moen to a T, you're gonna have to find a way to get the valve out. How they describe it is that they bring their piping straight down to the outlet nipple. If you did do that, you can't get the valve out. So what I did was I installed copper unions on all my piping. So this way I could just disconnect them and take the valve out to go ahead and service it if I ever have to. And as you can see here, I got my 3/4 inch hammer arresters, which they require, dedicated 15 amp GFCI circuit, and 2 ball shutoff valves. The system really doesn't pull that much power out. It pulls out about 2.3 amps, so it's really not much, but I can understand why they want a dedicated circuit. This here is the control unit. It controls how hot the water would come out, and if you want to change any of the presets within that valve. So that's pretty neat, but that's the control panel there, or the valve. And as we enter the bathroom, we can see here it's a 12 by 12 Imperial Noche tile. I went with a darker tile because it would make the room look a little bit bigger. For a room this size and a house this size, this bathroom is really small. The way I really wanted it was that I wanted to have a soaking tub and a shower inside, but in order to do that, I'd have to restructure the entire room just so that I can extend the bathroom out. And with the amount of money that I've already put into this house, it really wasn't an option for me. The first year I was in my house, I had to take out all the copper lines down in the basement and redo them because a lot of things were leaking and it just wasn't done right. Pipes were touching together, and his idea to separate the pipes was to put a playing card in between the pipes so that they don't rub together. So that wasn't working out for me, and I took them all out and redid all the copper in the basement. There's a view of the shower. This is the vanity. It's your standard 34.5 inch height, which is better than the old one. The old one was 29 3/4 inches. So every time I'd come in here to brush my teeth or wash my face, I'd have to bend down a lot. It would come just up past my knee. So at least this one I don't have to get a workout in just to brush my teeth. It's your standard Kohler white sink and Moen fixtures, all in brushed nickel. Simple, clean, it's exactly what I wanted. As we turn here, this is the control center. Here we have the thermostat for the in-floor heating that I put in. And here's a control panel that works the fan and the lighting scheme. I haven't worked out all the kinks yet on the thermostat for the in-floor heating. I don't know how to properly set it up, so I have to read the directions really carefully in order to get it to where I want it to be. Turning back, we can see two new outlets. They're 20 amp GFCIs. The problem that I ran into when I was going to do the renovation was all the bathrooms in my house, there are 3 of them, all run on the same circuit. So the problem was that when my girlfriend would go ahead and use her blow dryer, she'd blow the whole circuit out from the garage to the last bathroom. So I went ahead and separated the circuits so each bathroom has their own circuit, and they're all 20 amps. So it should be it should work out fine. There's a picture of the new Kohler toilet. It's chair height, which makes it real nice. The last toilet that was in here was a little puzzling because a standard toilet was about 3 inches higher than the toilet that used to be in here. So I don't know if they changed what standard was back in '88 or if that toilet was a special order toilet. I really don't know, but it was definitely really low to the ground. It was hard to sit down and stand back up again. So I changed it back to chair height, and it makes it pretty comfortable. Here we can see the Schluter shower system and the shower all in place here. The Schluter shower system came as a kit, so it comes with a roll of Curdy, prefabricated extruded polystyrene tray, which is pre-pitched, and the curb. It all goes up pretty easy. You just got to make sure you read the directions so you put them in right. A problem that I'm running into when I'm calling for estimates about shower glass is that the curb is not suitable to run a hinge pin in it, which a lot of installers like to do, because as the house settles or it moves, the pin will go ahead and compensate for that, and it makes a stronger door. The problem is that the tray is not a solid piece. It's, again, polystyrene. So what the tray looks like from underneath is that they have voids in them. The problem was that if he was going to drill a hole just to mount the hinge pin, he might hit a void and the pin won't be securely put in place. So I instructed the installer that when I constructed the shower, I laminated 4 2x4s in the wall so that he had something solid to go ahead and screw into to put his hinges in. So hopefully it won't be too much of a problem. This was never explained to me when I ordered the system from Schluter. They said it won't be a problem, but apparently if you want to put a hinge pin in, it will be a problem. There's the shower floor. It's made out of 2x2 ivory honed travertine, and on the border is 5/8 by 5/8 glass mosaic tile. So that's the shower tray. And then on the walls here, you have your same honed travertine and ivory in 3x6 laid out in a subway pattern. And then we see here the 4 body jets, which are pretty good. When I designed the system, I put 2 body sprays on 1 valve. So since there are 4 outlets coming from that digital unit, I had the chance to go ahead and separate the system so that there won't be a problem with any pressure or water volatility, meaning that one spray is going to start shooting air while the other spray is shooting water at you at 2 different pressures. So with the pressure balancing loop, it balances out the pressure and you get the same pressure out of each tap. So that makes it pretty nice. So I've got a border here of, I had some extra floor tile left in the main room, so I cut 1.5 inch strips and did a border all the way around. And then I had some extra floor tile left from the shower. I put that in, and then again with a 1.5 inch strip. And the 3x6 goes all the way up until it hits the ceiling. And as a border, I put in the 5/8 by 5/8 glass tile mosaic. And again, here I installed two 8-inch quarter round shelves here, and they worked out pretty good. Now I messed up in my design here. As you can see, the supply line that feeds the hand shower is crooked. It's crooked because the shelf here interferes with the braided hose. So a lot of installers will go ahead and mount the supply line vertically, but the problem is if I mount it vertically, it puts a lot of stress on this fitting right here, and I found that it might leak. So instead of doing that, I just offset it, put some Rector seal on the threads, 3 wraps of Teflon, and then another coating of Rector seal, and then put the fitting on. So it makes everything nice and watertight. Here we see the hand shower spray mounted on their bar, so it goes down to there. 7-inch rain shower head, which is nice, but some of you might frown upon how I put these two fixtures on the wall that's facing out into the middle of the room. Now, I originally wanted to put everything on this wall where the body sprays are. The problem is that it's really tight behind this wall. There's 2 continuous 3-inch plumbing lines that come in here, and then there's 4 1.5-inch plumbing vents that go in this wall. So it makes it really tight. I was lucky enough just to get these 4 body sprays in. You really don't want to have your fixtures directly spraying water at your glass door, only because you run the risk of a leak. But it's the only choice that I had, and if you have to do it, you can do it. The one thing that I really didn't like was that a lot of people said, well, why didn't you just mount it on the exterior wall here? And as common sense, it gets too cold back there, and I was afraid the supply lines would go ahead and freeze. Even though I used spray foam, I was still a little hesitant to put anything out there that was water related, so I just dealt with it and just put it on this wall here, so it's fine. So what I'm going to have to do is just change this plumbing fixture to one that just goes up and over and straight down, so it won't be a problem with the rain shower head. And here is where it all happens. This is center control and command center. You turn this on and the system sets up to where you're ready to take your shower. Here you see the LCD screen. It gives you options of what fixtures you want on, and this is your temperature control. As you can see, it gives you a temperature reading on demand. It tells you when the water is up to temperature, so this comes with an optional remote that I have. So it's a nice feature to have. You just stand outside of the shower, click the remote on, and you can tell when your shower is up to temperature. These are your preset buttons here. There are 4 of them. They correspond to however you have the shower set up. It goes to your exact temperature and the amount of fixtures that you want on. This is your menu toggle, and here's your flow regulator. So you just click that in and out. Now, there are some flaws. I'm not a professional installer. I can admit where I have flaws. As you can see on the ceiling here, you can see a faint line that comes right in here, and then that little nail or screw hole right there. Now, I did try to fill these in as best I could, but there is shrinkage that happens, so I don't know if I'm going to go back and do them. I might not. It's really not all that important. I hate sheetrocking. I'm really not good at it. Sure, it looks real nice when you put it up and everything, but when you finish it off, I'm really bad at feathering, and it just does not come out perfect, but it's good enough for me. You really can't see it. I'm just enhancing it with some light right now from my camera, so you can see it a little better. It's more defined. When you're standing in my view, you really can't see it all that much. And here, just as a finishing touch, you just put in a stopper here, which is a finishing trim, so instead of seeing cut edges or unfinished tile, you just see a nice brushed nickel trim piece here. And that's pretty much it. Now, just a word of advice, if you are gonna put in this system, the digital system, it is really cool to have, but it is expensive. I tried to weigh the options of which system to put in the beginning. I was back and forth between the Kohler water tile and their DTV system and this system. Now, the main difference is the Kohler system is about 35 to 45% more, depending on where you get it. And looking at the instructions, it is a real big pain to put in. The valve is finicky, and the water tile, which sit flush against the wall right here, which mimics tile, is really hard to rough in. You've got to get it to within a 1/16 or an 1/8, otherwise it's not going to work out. So in my case, a lot of the walls aren't perfectly square or flush. So in order to do that, I'd have to fur out all the walls so that they're within a 1/16, and then I can go ahead and rough in all my boxes for those tile, which I thought was a little bit too much. So I went with this system instead, with the Moen Digital. Now, the cool thing about this is that with that thermostatic unit that's in the bedroom over there, you can run all 4 systems, the rain shower head, 4 body sprays, and the hand shower spray at one time without losing any pressure, because the computer inside that system controls how much flow is coming out. So depending on how many valves you've got on at the same time, the same amount of pressure will come out. With other systems, especially if you have a manual diverter valve, you'll have to play around with the system and see where your valves are comfortable in sending enough water out. A lot of times, if you have all 4 running, 2 are going to run just fine, but the other 2 are going to start spitting water and not give you enough pressure. So this system automatically manages how much pressure comes out, and if not enough is coming out of one valve, it automatically kicks in to give you that pressure. The other cool thing is that this system has an automatic temperature control on it. So if your water heater is starting to run out of hot water, the system will go ahead and tell you that it's time to jump out. Otherwise, you're going to run out of hot water and it's going to turn cold. So I tested the system out. It gives you about a 5-minute warning, and the LEDs will start to flash and tell you that the water's starting to get cooler because the water heater is getting depleted. Now, the other problem that I find with this system is that it does use a lot of water. If you were going to run all systems at the same time, these 4 body jets right here run at 2.5 gallons per minute, and if you run them all together, that's 11 gallons a minute, plus the rain shower head runs at 2.5, and so does the hand shower spray. So altogether, you're looking at about 15 gallons a minute. Now, my water heater in my house is a 40-gallon unit. When I took my shower, even running at the temperature at 106 degrees, I ran out of hot water in about 12 minutes. So unless if you take long showers, you're going to have a little bit of a problem. The ultimate setup would be if you had a separate water heater just for this shower. So this way your whole house doesn't have to be depleted of hot water. The shower runs off a separate system. I know it's not practical, but if that's what you wanted, you could do it. I was thinking about putting in a tankless water heater, but I heard it still wouldn't keep up with the amount of water that would come out. Another way you could do it, which I really want to do, but really don't want to put in the time or the money to put this system in. My friend had this done. He's got almost the same shower system, except it's not a digital one, but he uses about 16 gallons of water a minute if he's running everything at the same time, is to put in a boiler. Now, when he takes a shower, he says 25 minutes he can run on fully hot and still not lose any hot water, which is great, but the homes in my development here all use nat gas. So I like nat gas, it's convenient and it's cheap. I really don't want to have to pay for a boiler and put in an oil feed system so that I have to pay for nat gas and oil. So it is expensive, but if you do have a boiler, you can run separate valves from the boiler up to your shower. What he did was that he just has a boiler running his water for his hot water. He doesn't have a separate storage tank. So he runs separate valves from his boiler and he runs a hydronic heated floor plus the shower and baseboard heat along with his forced air heat, which really cuts down on his nat gas bill and his oil bill, because radiant heating doesn't have a lot of the peaks and valleys as forced hot air does. So it's overkill, but you know, if you really take long showers, then either you have to invest in a bigger water heater or one of those hybrid systems, which are pretty cool, but that only comes in electric, and you know, I don't have the time to put in a separate electrical line for a water heater. So gas is going to have to work out for me, and I'm just going to have to deal with the water issue. My showers really don't take that long anyways. I was only in there for a long time because I wanted the full experience. So this is my bathroom, and I hope you guys like it. If you guys have any questions about the Moen digital system or how it performs, please do not hesitate to email me. I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And another note, I'm not a professional installer. I installed this entire shower myself without calling for any professional help. I'm a stockbroker in the city, actually, and a lot of people say that we're helpless, that we don't know how to do anything except for count numbers and lose money. But this here proves that I'm not helpless. I do know how to do a lot of things, and I can do them actually pretty well. So a lot of my friends have come over to look at it, and they said that they really like it and that I did a really great job on it. And it's my first complete bathroom regut, and I think it came out pretty good. So hopefully you guys rate my bathroom well, and if you guys have any comments, go ahead and put them down. And thanks a lot for watching the video. Take it easy, guys.